In this alternate timeline, Vaggie and Charlie would never meet. As Charlie would start the hotel, she would start to struggle, as there was no one there to support her, no one there to keep her going. As things got hard, she continued with her dreams, however, continued to try to push through, as things would continue in canon relatively, but without Vaggie, until eventually Charlie would have a meet in heaven all by herself. She was so worried. She felt like she couldn't do it. She had nothing but step back after setback after setback after setback. It felt like the entire world was against her. No matter what she did, she couldn't move forward. She couldn't make any progress. It seemed useless. It seemed like everything was against her. As she went to the meet into heaven, though, in this timeline, someone would see her, Sera. Sera would blush looking at Charlie. Sera hasn't felt these emotions before towards anyone, but Charlie just had a beautiful glow to her. As then, she would start to think to herself, I need to stay calm. I need to stay present. As the meeting went on, Sera couldn't focus. She just stared at Charlie as she gave her speech. Eventually, Sera would say, all right, if you want to redeem sinners, I will give you a chance. This shocked everyone. I want you to bring someone up here, and we'll meet personally, just you and me. Understood? Charlie would say yes. As she got excited, she left. As then Sera would walk down, and Adam would say, what the F was that? As Sera would talk to Adam would say, are you sure that's a good idea? It's a perfect idea. I'll be able to humiliate her and show everyone how dumb her plan really is. I'll bring up hope for her, hope for heaven to change, and then I'll show how terrible that is, and they'll never go back. Adam would say, that's pretty smart, boss, as he walked away, but then Sera blushed as she thought about Charlie. Charlie was Lucifer's daughter. Lucifer and her used to be best friends till he was kicked out. He couldn't date her. No. She couldn't do this. She knew for a fact that this was wrong. She had to hide these feelings, hide these emotions. As we cut back to Charlie, she walked into the hotel excited. Lester would say, you seem excited. You've been quite sad for a while now. What's got you all riled up? As then Charlie would say, well, I got a chance. Sera said I could bring someone up to heaven to try to prove my point. Alistair would say, really, huh? Well, you're gonna fail miserably, but have fun trying, as she would walk up to his room. As then Charlie would say, so who wants to go, Sir Pinchas or Angel? As Angel would say, I know my name's Angel, but I don't really want to go. As Sir Pinchas would say, pick me. Charlie would say, all right, you can go. Yes. As then Sir Pinchas and Charlie would start to practice how they would act in heaven. As Charlie felt hopeful for once, she felt like she could actually change things. She felt like things were finally going in her favor. As then we cut to Sera, as Sera was sitting down on the couch. She usually was a workaholic. She worked very hard for heaven. She was the head of the council that overseed many things, since God's been gone for a long, long time. And yes, Vizzy Pop did mention that God is canon, so he does exist in this universe. As Sera would continue to stare up, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to think. She hasn't had a crush in a very long time, and never on an enemy. This can't be right. It isn't right, she would tell herself over and over and over again. Besides, she was so much more mature than her. She made so much better decisions. She just sang and went along with her heart. It was so dumb. Sera would tell herself this days after days after days, as she couldn't shake the feeling. She couldn't shake her emotions. Eventually, Charlie would be, in the hotel with Sir Pinchas and Angel, doing a therapy session, when suddenly a portal would open up as Sera would walk in. As Charlie would be excited to see her, she would say, you came to hell? Sera would say yes. She couldn't believe she came here, down to this dump, but the hotel looked nice. Charlie seemed nice. As Sera would smile at Charlie and take her hand, Charlie and Sera would both blush, and Charlie would say, What are you doing? Sera would say, I'm just, I wanted to take you on one-on-one so we can talk. Charlie would say, okay. As then Sera would take Charlie away. As then Sir Pinchas would be brought to heaven and observed. As Sera and Charlie would have dinner, they would both discuss the hotel. As Sera would look at Charlie and Charlie would look at her, as they could both feel something for each other. As Charlie continued talking with Sera, they They just stared at each other. Eventually, they would stop talking about the hotel as they just stared and ate, as they could just look at each other, admire each other's beauty. As they wanted to say something, Charlie admired her old sense of beauty, and Sera admired her young sense of power, until eventually, the dinner was broken, as Charlie got a call to go back to hell. As she went back with Sir Pinchas, Sera would simply keep staring, knowing she had to do something. As Charlie would be talking with Alistair would say, "What's wrong?" As Charlie would say, "Well, it's just one of the angels there seemed really nice to me." Alistair would say, "It's a trick. You think so? I know so. Trust me. Angels can't be trusted." As Alistair would walk away, Charlie would say, "How would he know that?" "I guess it doesn't matter. Besides, there's no reason for me to interest in her. Besides, she was with my dad. She's kind of old. But I am 100 years old, so maybe I shouldn't judge," Charlie would think. While I was thinking about this, we cut to Sera, who was having impure thoughts, but she was supposed to be pure. She was supposed to be perfect. She couldn't have these thoughts. She couldn't have these feelings. As she was sitting down, Adam would knock on the door. She opened it. Adam would say, "Sera, what the F? You were supposed to humiliate her, but you didn't do that. People are actually thinking about changing now." As Emily would come in and say, "I think it's a great idea, Sera." As they would talk and argue, Sera would say, "I don't have time for this." As then she would shut the door. She would go upstairs. As she would begin to breathe heavily, not knowing what to do or say. As Sera would continue just to look up at the ceiling. As we cut to Charlie, as they were both doing the same thing. As both of them looked up at the sky. As Sera would look down, imagining Charlie, imagine him being with her. As Charlie would do the same, but look up. Time passed, days would pass, and all they could think about was each other. The battle was coming up closer and closer. Sera couldn't let this happen. Sera couldn't let Charlie get hurt, so Sera would call a meeting. This would shock everyone, as everyone would go there, even Charlie. And Emily would talk, as Sera would take a deep sigh. She couldn't believe she was going to do this, but she couldn't continue with the purge like this. She couldn't continue with the exorcism like this. To have the exorcism happen over and over again, to destroy the person she liked, to destroy her hopes, to destroy her dreams. She couldn't do this. As Sera and Emily would announce that the exorcism ended, as everyone would cheer. Well, Charlie would, and a lot of people in heaven, but Adam would be pissed. Nothing he could do, though. It seemed like heaven and hell were about to have better relations. It seemed like everything was going well, but Sera and Charlie would meet up alone. As they both stared at each other, Sera would slowly take Charlie's hand and say, "I like you." Charlie would say, "I like you too." As then they would kiss and smile, as they felt something amazing. When they kissed, they felt their love, they felt their passion, and they felt something between them both. As then they would both stare at each other, looking at each other, smiling at each other. As then no more words were expressed, Sera would take Charlie to her bed. And the next day would come as they both got up, and Charlie would say, "That felt great." Sera would say, "Yeah, it did." As Charlie felt kind of weird being with Sera. She was very old. I mean, Charlie was 100 years old, but Sera was like thousands upon thousands at least. But Sera and Charlie would make things work as they continue forward. By the way, I Googled it, and Google said there's no evidence Charlie and Sera are related, so we're good. I did think about that. Anyway, let's keep going. As Charlie and Sera continued onwards, they started to enjoy themselves more and more, and they would hide their relationship. As they would hide their relationship and continue to see each other, continue to date each other, and continue to hide behind others, their relationship would be fine. They would be happy. And that's all that matters in the end. And that's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I did. Today has been a lot of fun. Not going to lie. Actually, no. Today's been... I don't know what happened. My computer won't play any games now. Before, it could just not play any newer games. And older games that I could play, I just can't play anymore. I don't know why. I didn't do anything to it. I don't know what the heck's happened. I've been looking everything up. You know, luckily for my gaming channel, I figured out how to record things on my Xbox. So I don't really need the PC anymore. I mean, it'd be nice because some games are not on Xbox. But other than that, you know, I'm perfectly fine. But yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, one of the games I play works kind of. It just lags so much you can't even move. Like, it's just super slow motion. I've never seen anything that bad before. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea. If any of you guys experienced that before, let me know in the comments below how you fixed it. And by the way, don't bring up Steam, because I don't use Steam to get games. Everyone's like, oh, Steam. Every single tutorial is a Steam tutorial, and I don't use Steam, so don't bring that up in the comments. I don't want to see a single Steam comment. You use Steam, but not for the games I'm talking about. Isn't it so annoying how like 90% of tutorials are like Steam tutorials for PC? I'm like, dang it, Steam's not the only place you can get this game. You can get it free for the Game Pass on the Xbox version. Why is there no Xbox version? How to fix it? Why is it always Steam this, Steam that, Steam that? What is wrong with these tutorial guys? Why? Just why, you know? And it really ticks me off, and like no one's complaining about it. Everyone's like, oh yeah, am I the only person in the world that uses the Xbox app to get games on a PC? I don't think that's too weird. I might be the only person in the world. Apparently I'm only allowed to use Steam. I'm sorry. But yeah, it just annoys me. But other than that, I'm fine. Really, I just like making things a big deal so I can stretch out the video. But honestly, today's wasn't that bad at all. Worst comes to worst, I can just play it by Xbox. I can't fix it. It's pretty nice there. It was worthless. But yeah. Anyway, let me know what your ideas are down in the comments below. Let me know how you're doing. And let me know if you have a solution for the problem. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. It means the world to me. I'm glad to have an audience like you. I'm glad to have people like you watching me. It really keeps me going. Peace out. Love you all.